Alright, in this video I'm going to show first some animations between the Overlord boss and your player. There's 3 capture animations, and then I'll show them integrated in the engine with the Overlord boss reacting to the player actions. So first I'll show sort of a gripping animation that we've done. So I'll play it. So like I said, he just grips him. And he tries to get away. So these are played when the player makes an error and his game is over. He's captured by the Overlord. I'll single step it so that you can get a look at the keyframes. Maybe move him around a bit. Oh, and I'll do the wireframe mode. It also might help. So I'll move on to the next one. This one's where the player gets dragged. And I'll show it in wireframe. And the final one, which is he gets carried. And bounced. What I do when I play these is, originally I'll play like the full frame, and then I think on frame 13 it'll keep looping. So it'll just loop until you decide to start the game again. And again, I'll show it in wireframe. Yeah, single step it so you can have a So the next part of the video, I'll show these integrated into the game engine, and I'll also show the behaviors of the Overlord and how you can trigger him chasing the player. So that'll be in the second part of the video. Okay, here I'm going to show the Overlord boss, who appears, for instance, if you try to jump outside the boundaries of the track. So here he'll pop up and chase you. And then he'll strafe, also do jumps. He'll also do rolls. I'll call them back again. Although the rolls happen kind of rarely, so it takes a while to trigger them. And eventually, after a little bit of time, the Overlord boss disappears, and there you saw him do a roll like that. And to trigger a capture animation, what happens is you trigger the boss, and then you make a mistake while he's chasing you, and there you can see him dragging you off the screen. So I'll show a few more of the capture animations that I showed earlier in Maya. So here I'll call the Overlord boss again and have him. And there you have him. He picks up the character. And again, I show, like I talked earlier, how he loops. So eventually you'll hit the screen to start your game again, or use one of your power-ups to restart from where you left off. But again, here's that carry animation that I showed in Maya. The other thing that I did in order to get all this to work is I have the Overlord and the player, and they don't know about each other yet. The Overlord knows how to behave with regards to what the player does. And how I did that was, I have a message handling system, so the Overlord registers to listen on events from the player and vice versa. So when the player does something, he sends an event, and then the Overlord responds if he wishes to. That way the player class or the player logic doesn't need to depend on the Overlord logic and vice versa. They're both loosely coupled, so any changes I make in the logic of the player character will not affect anything that the Overlord does. So that's a little quick description of how I do that. And I'll probably end with showing the final capture animation in the next part of this video. Okay, now I'll be showing the final capture animation, which is the one where the Overlord grips the player. So first I'll call the There we go. So there you can see him getting gripped and being shaken around. So I'll do another video for this, and in this one I'll have the entire level set up so that the character can move up and down the level, and the Overlord will hopefully intelligently chase after him. It shouldn't be that hard to implement, but I figure I'd do that in a second video. But for now, you've seen the animations and a little bit of the game logic of how the Overlord chases you. So in the next video, I'll have a little bit more complex navigation through a level. Thanks, and bye.